Hello world, it's Jennifer, Thistle Gypsy, here with your weekly Tarot and Oracle card reading. This is for the week of November 15th, 2015. I want to thank everybody who's been stopping by to check things out. This is a new venture for me. Hopefully various aspects of it will improve. The photography for one. Feel free to leave comments. Just a hello would be perfectly welcome. The cards I drew this week, the first two cards I drew this week, really speak to our current international situation, the terrorist attacks in Paris. And they can have other applications in people's lives, but when they came up, I thought, oh, that's what this is about. So I am first going to address them in that regard, and then I'll come back around and just address them in general, how they could be affecting people's lives. So the first card that came up was the Four of Coins, or the Four of Pentacles, and it is reversed. This is a card that depicts insecurity. Even in its upright position, it's somebody who is holding on to what they have, which is, I think everybody in a situation like this, it makes us take stock of what we have, and like the person in the card, the picture in the card, put our feet and grab a hold of it and, count our blessings, so to speak, and hang on tight to them. But this is reversed, and that shows the feeling, the general feeling of uneasiness or insecurity that we can feel at a time like this. And one of the reasons that it made me think immediately of the situation was that it indicates insecurity, feeling insecure, and the background is that of a city. And the person in the card, the cloak of the person is black, which I honestly had never really noticed before, but at the moment really gives an impression of kind of being swaddled in mourning. So that's our Four of Pentacles reversed. That will take some healing, and not to be dismissive, obviously, for the people of Paris, and the people who have close friends and relations who have perished, and just the shock of something so senseless happening in a place that you frequent. That is some monumental healing. But even so, even here, even removed, to get back to normal life, or to honor that grieving, to honor how we can very much relate to what's going on there, we have the next card, which is the Oakman from the Faeries Oracle. And the way that I find this card very healing is it really reminds us of our unity with France, our idealistic unity. The Oakman is about wisdom, history, wisdom, deep knowing, basic principles, right? And that's what binds us to the people of France and other freedom-loving countries, other countries that believe in human rights, other countries that deplore these acts of terrorism. So the Oakmen remind us of those connections, those deep connections, and remind us, the oak is considered an extremely strong tree. So this is where our strength lies. It's not in the things that we have. It's in these deep principles. And that's what the Oakmen are here to remind us. And that is the thing that makes us strong, and that's what unifies us in the face of such senseless violence. So, if you need to, tap into the strength of the Oakmen. Read a little bit of history. I know that on Facebook there was an image going around that I thought was really lovely. It was together the Statue of Liberty and the statue of Joan of Arc together. And I just thought that that was a wonderful depiction of the unity of our two nations. And, you know, the glory of France, both of those, really. So, let's move on to the other two cards. That's the heavy thing that's going on. The next card, well, it is kind of along those same lines, but is called Balancing Act. And I think this is really getting back more into everyday life. And Balancing Act, this one is reversed. So it's saying, don't force any issues in your life this week. Be very careful not to force issues. Things will come in their own time. And there needs to be some trust that things will come in their own time. In the upright, the Balancing Act, and this is from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, means that that you need to do only very fine adjustments, that some things are coming your way and you need to only make the finest of adjustments. In the reverse position, it indicates that you're really wanting to force an issue, and it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to force any issues right now. And the next card also indicates that. It's called Divine Timing. So it's saying, you know, wait for the right moment. The right moment will come. Trust that the right moment will come, and wait for it. This also has somebody writing, and I think it has to do with the notion of writing on the wall, you know. Wait for the writing on the wall. When you see the writing on the wall, then you'll know it's time. But I'm also getting the feeling at this point that anybody, all of us, we might have moments during this coming week when we have a little extra time, unexpected extra time, and it's a good time to communicate. Pick up a pen or pencil if you still do that sort of communicating. Go to your email inbox and type hello to somebody close to you who you haven't communicated with in a while. There are also dragonflies on this card that also, at the moment, at any rate, strike me as messengers for anything that you have to say. So look for those moments, and you might find some divine timing for connecting with people this coming week. And that's a good way to help yourself feel more secure too. So let's go back up to the Four of Pentacles reversed. So that, you know, if we weren't in the midst of some international trauma here, that it indicates a feeling of financial insecurity, or material, for some reason, material, physical insecurity. It's not necessarily true. It's a perception, it's a feeling. You may have a minor financial setback, but the Four is essentially a position of strength. Okay? It's a position of solidity. it's headed on the path to an 8 and a 10, you know, being really complete and solid, okay? But it's the beginnings of solidity. So again, there might be minor setbacks, but you're in a strong position. You should be able to absorb them. And the Oakman is also encouraging communication. You know, there's all those roots, as well as the branches and the chattering of the leaves, okay, and all of the things that live in an oak, okay. So do think globally in search of wisdom. Okay? The Oakmen are about wisdom. Think globally in terms of seeking wisdom. You know, think about what, if you're needing guidance, go to books, go to older folks, go to people who have experience in the thing that you're curious about, and they should be willing to communicate this week. So for the divine timing and the communication there, again, you know, if there's somebody older, some ancestor, someone you have roots with, could be an old friend, consider communicating with them. Whether it's just a general chat or if you need advice on something, if you need their particular wisdom. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's any other interactions between the cards. I would say this, in the balancing act, which is saying don't overreact, don't push things. If you are feeling frustrated about something, again, the Oakmen look for past wisdom, books on the subject, whatever you need to cool off, to keep from overreacting out of anger, frustration. Impatience would probably be the biggest negative for the balancing act, would be impatient, wanting to jerk something towards you when you need to just let it float over. Again, Oakmen, talk to somebody older, more experienced with that kind of a situation. Communicate with the elders, whoever elders are for you, as a way to keep your balance. Keep your balance in whatever situations you're facing in the coming week. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much for stopping by and listening. Actually, I take that back. This isn't it, because I am going to do a little bibliomancy this week. So there's going to be a little cut in the audio, and then I'm going to come back with a few quotes that I'm just going to pull from books. In my house, I have over 400 books. So I'm going to start adding that to my card readings. I'm going to pull a few quotes and to add to the week's reading. So again, you'll hear a little cut in the audio, and then you'll get the reading. Okay, now for the bibliomancy, which is what we call this. When you pull quotes from books spontaneously. I just went and grabbed some books off the shelf, opened them with my eyes closed, felt the page, put my finger, and wrote down what I found there. And it's a lot of words about unity. It's really what came up. So, which seems very appropriate for the coming week. So the first was a poem by Sylvia Plath, pulled from a book. Let's see. It is the collected poems of Sylvia Plath. The poem is on deck, and the place where my finger landed had these words. Small drops spot their coats. They fly too fast to feel the wet. Anything can happen where they are going. Again, I think that speaks a lot to the insecurity and yet the freedom that we enjoy and that we protect, and that is one of our deep principles. And then the next book that I decided to grab was the work of Pablo Neruda, specifically titled The Poetry of Pablo Neruda. And the title of the poem that I ended up opening it up to is Solar Ode to the Army of the People. And the particular passage that my finger landed on was this. Army of the people, they say health to you with blossoms, milk, potatoes, lemon, laurel, everything that belongs to the earth and to the mouth of man. Translated by Richard Schaaf. So again, that speaks of unity, of helping others in their time of difficulty. They say health to you with blossoms, so beautiful things, milk, potatoes, lemon, and laurel, everything that belongs to the earth and to the mouth of man. Sustenance in difficult times. And then the last book that I pulled from the shelf is In the Spirit of Crazy Horse by Peter Matthiessen. And I turned to page 221, and this is what my finger landed on. When everybody was all together, they couldn't touch us. So I will leave this week at that.